A month back there was only one Scrambler in India in this segment, and now there are two, thanks to Royal Enfield, because here we have the SCRAM 411. Because it is a trimmed down version of Himalayan, and that is why Royal Enfield calls it Himalayan SCRAM 411. And before we dig deep, hit our three favorite buttons: like, share and subscribe. We are also on Instagram, the handle will be right over here. Follow us there as well. Now let's begin with the review of SCRAM 411. In the front it gets a round halogen headlight with LED pirate lamp just like you see on the Himalayan, but this one is mounted on the handlebar. With that are rectangular turn indicators, and it gets the same 41mm telescopic forks which has 190mm travel in the front with dust covers. At the rear is a monoshock suspension which gets 180mm travel. In the front it gets a 19-inch spoke wheel with a 100/90 section dual sport tire, and at the rear is a 17-inch spoke wheel with a 120/90 section tire. The braking system is carried from the Himalayan, and hence it gets a dual channel ABS with a 300mm disc brake in the front and a 240mm disc brake in the rear. However, this ABS setup is not switchable. From the side profile as well, it does look like a Himalayan because this tank over here, the 15 liters, is from the Himalayan. It gives you a fuel efficiency of somewhere around 30 to 32 kmpl, and with that the tank cover has been removed and you get this plastic fitting over here which actually changes color with the paint scheme. So there are 5 different colors on offer. This motorcycle is still powered by a 411cc SOHC engine which is oil cooled and fuel injected. It is mated with a 5-speed gearbox and delivers a maximum power of 24 PS at 6500 RPM and has a peak torque of 32 Nm at 4250 RPM. The bash plate guarding the engine is also the same from Himalayan, and complete motorcycle weighs 185 kgs and has a ground clearance of 200 mm, which is good enough for a Scrambler. With that it gets a single step-up seat which is very comfortable for the rider as well as the pillion. It gets a big grab rail for the pillion as well. With that it gets a side hung single barrel exhaust that is directly carried from the Himalayan. Let's check out how it sounds. At the rear end are rectangular LED taillights with rectangular turn indicators just like on the Himalayan. Now let's hop onto the saddle. The saddle is good, cushiony and comfortable. As I've already said, the saddle height is 795 mm. I can only get 1 feet on the ground, and if you are above 5'5", you can ride this motorcycle. Now let's check out the instrument cluster. It gets a single pod instrument cluster just like you see on the Yezdi Scrambler. You have an analog speedometer, and then in the center is the digital fuel gauge with time, gear indicator as well as trip and odometer information. Now the font is very small, although it is visible under direct sunlight, so that's a good thing. And because this motorcycle gets so many things in common with Himalayan, you should never forget that this is a SCRAM 411. Now coming to the handlebar, on the right hand side you have the kill switch, the hazard light switch and the self start switch. And on the left hand side you have the pass switch, the headlight control, the turn indicator control and the horn. So it is a very loud single tone horn. Funny thing is that Royal Enfield has removed the USB charger that was available on the Himalayan from the SCRAM 411. I can agree that they have removed the navigation pod because it's not available on the other Scrambler, so yeah, I mean, to keep it in the price bracket it has to be removed. That's totally fine. The mirrors are good, they are bigger than the Yezdi Scrambler, but the adjustment is not really great, so you still have a blind spot. With that said, we have to take it on a ride, and before you go on a ride, don't forget to wear your helmet and follow all road safety rules. It goes without saying that the motorcycle is comfortable, and why not? It has the same riding ergonomics from the Himalayan, which will definitely take care of you and your pillion. The seating posture is straight with wide raised handlebar and neutral set foot pegs. There are no pressure points on your back or your shoulder, and you can comfortably take it for long rides. The initial pick of the motor is really good as it is torquey. In fact, the mid-range is also decent, however at the top, it just runs dry. The engine refinement levels are good, better than Yezdi, but even then, the vibrations do creep in. I was hoping to find this motor tweaked to suit Scrambler genre, but seems like Royal Enfield has not done any changes. The mid and the top is where this motorcycle needs to shine, and right now, it's just the opposite. Although the power seems slightly better as this motorcycle has shredded some weight, which helps in bettering the power to weight ratio. The engine has a linear power delivery and offers decent cruising speeds up to 100 km/h. This is not a high revving engine, and hence the heat management is also good, and this one gets oil cooling. You need not work on the gearbox too much as the gearing ratio is tall and the engine has a good low end, so you can easily move around at 25-30 on third gear as well. If you want to shift, the gearbox is good and precise. The clutch is slightly on a heavier side as this motorcycle misses out on slipper clutch, but it does get the job done. The braking setup is assisted by a dual channel ABS. However, Royal Enfield has removed the switchable feature from this motorcycle. The front brake is decent in terms of bite and feedback. The rear one feels spongy and lacks the feedback. I strongly believe there is scope of improvement in terms of braking. The suspensions are on a softer side and have good amount of travel, which means they can absorb the bad patches really well. Even though it feels like rear one has a higher rebound, but it still offers a comfortable ride than the Yezdi. The stability on the highway is also good, so you can take this motorcycle on long rides. I like what Royal Enfield has done over here, and I know it takes a lot of effort for a company to get a motorcycle production ready, but this one could have been better in many ways, and removing features which were already present in the other lineups doesn't really help the case. This motorcycle does not behave like a Scrambler. It is still Himalayan, just wrapped with a Scrambler. With that, the refinement levels of the engine are not that great, the braking performance is not that great, the ABS is not switchable, plus it misses out on the modern tech. And with all that, it still is priced at 2,03,000 for this single tone variant, and for the dual tone variant you have to pay 5,000 rupees more. So this Scram 411 is just 2,000 rupees cheaper than the Yezdi Scrambler. With that said, our video has come to an end. I hope you did like this video. Do share it with your family and friends, and if you are new to our channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you never miss out any update from us. Special thanks to Brahma Motors for providing us this bike for the review. If you are interested in Royal Enfield, you can check their dealership in Vakadewadi. We are also present on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. The handle will be right over here. Go ahead and check out our pages and follow us there as well. We'll see you again in the next video. Till that time, stay home, stay safe and ride safe. Bye bye.